Hear he. Little Theta update. They tweeted out about 5 hours ago. The first 100 Theta PGN users, which is pre-Guardian Node users, PGN users, to run Guardian nodes on Theta testnet have been set. Notifications have been sent through the PGN app, which is their wallet app to run a pre-Guardian node. Not really a wallet app, but the pre-Guardian node app. Thanks to all Theta community for participating. The next 100 will come soon. If you have a Mac or Linux looking for to run one, email support at thetatoken.org. So I went into the server that I host at a data center, and there wasn't a message there. It was like, maybe I didn't get selected. But I said, oh, you know what? I think I need to, let me just see if there's an update. Check updates. Yes, there is an update. Oh, okay. It did its thing, came back online. You have a message, one unread message. Oh, clicked on it. You've been selected to go from a pre-Guardian node to a regular Guardian node or whatever. And they have a Slack website, room for this. So it said click here to go there. And I had to sign up real quick and log in and all that stuff, check your email, click the link to verify. Okay, all right, you're in. I was like, sweet. So I was, hey, what's up, everybody, whatever. I was just in there. I'm actually chatting with a couple people in there now. I saw a couple people pop in. Hey, I got invited. Yay, I'm like, man, I did go a little bit crazy on Theta at first when it came out. And then a little later, let me get a few more. Because I didn't know what the amount was going to be that you would need to run a Guardian node. And I thought, well, how crazy can you get? And there's a certain point when it's too much Theta a person should be required to have to play this or to run a node. So I don't think they're going to go that crazy, but where am I going to position myself? And I had plenty, because they ended up lowering it anyways, because at first it's like, well, we might need 1 million Theta, and I'm like, holy crap. But no, it's going to be 100,000, we think. Okay. So anyways, it's been running, but I've got AAA, because it tells you hardware rating, hard drive space rating, this rating, whatever. And I've always had AAA, like AAA, A rating. But then a few weeks ago, I realized the server had restarted because of an important update that the server needed from Windows or whatever. So when it restarted, it didn't just run the node automatically. And so I was like, oh, crap. So I turned it back on. I was like, oh, shoot, this thing's been down for like a week. Holy crap, it might affect my, my score. And when they do the upgrade, am I going to be selected now because I've been down for a freaking week? Oh, crap. So I turned it back on. Whatever happens, happens. But I got in. I got in there. So now I'm in there like swimwear. So that's cool. If you're running one of these Guardian nodes or pre-Guardian nodes, click the little top right. I think it says info or something. Click that. Check for update. Click that. See if there's an update. If yes, do the update because you might be surprised. It restarts itself and pops up. Oh, you've got one message, one unread message. Oh, really? Guess what it might be? You now go from pre-Guardian node to Guardian node. And I was talking with a guy at the Litecoin conference, and he goes, "There's some other type of node they're talking about, which would be one of just very, very few that they were going to give out." And they were debating, do we just give it to big partners, like Samsung or someone else? Do we let some of our crypto community have one? How are we going to figure this out? I forgot the name of the node. It's not a Guardian node. It's another type of node. And even in that one, maybe 100,000 Theta is not enough to even run one. I don't know. I have no idea. So I told him, I was like, hey, if you hear any more about that, send me a little email or something. Let me know. I'd like to, maybe I'd be super lucky enough to be selected for something like that. I kind of am the one guy on YouTube who keeps, every so often pumping Theta. Not for on purpose, just, hey, this interesting news, they're doing the Samsung Smart TV. They're going to put the app right on the damn TV. They've already done trials. It's working. Whoa, cool. Again, I don't have to be paid. I don't have to have a promotional, pay if I really like something. And even so, like right nowadays, I still get emails every now and then. Hey, what would it cost to promote this crypto thing on your channel? I don't want to do that. Because even if it sounds good, oh, yeah, hey guys, let's get into this. Another ICO coming up or something. You don't know who the management team is. You don't know what the hell's really going on there. You have to trust in all this stuff for it to work. And we're putting money into these things. 2017 was a different animal. It was all brand new. We're all excited. We're getting into almost everything we can. because everything was pretty much going up, but some went up way better than others. I had some good picks in there, they all went up. Did any of us get out in time? Some of them, yeah, some of them, my story. I got a house with Veritasium, played Bitcoin Cash, got an RV out of that thing. Like, I've done some things, play around in the recent low from the end of last year. I did have to throw in a few more thousands of dollars to get the car on top of my 10,000 that I set aside for cryptos to go up, and got the old Tesla. So, yeah, I've cashed out here and there. Old Snip has done that, but I don't mind talking about something that I really like. Obviously, I come out here and talk about stuff all the time, but Theta, man, utility token. And the Freemason guy, the 33rd degree Mason. I've been having some chats with him afterwards. Right after I did the live stream, he sent an email. He must have been watching, so he sent an email and he goes, "Hey, yeah, listen, anything that we talk about, leave my name and stuff out of it, but yeah, I don't mind you saying anything." He goes, if there's ever something I'd rather you not say, I'll already tell you in the email right off the bat or whatever, like, hey, like, don't repeat this part or whatever, And I was like, I was just typing a message out to you and I saw your email come in. I said that to him because I was like, oh, cool. So he did tell me something pretty interesting. Coming in the next, I'll just say, few years. And he thinks, and he basically said, look, just because I'm a Mason doesn't mean we know everything. He goes, but you asked if I was a betting man, and I am a betting man. I hold some assets. I hold this, and some crypto. And basically precious metals and crypto. And he had given me a date, and I thought, well, what's so important about that or whatever? And what about the 5? He said something about 5. He goes, oh, well, it's the 5-pointed star. This means that, and that means that. And it's, the occult. We think this thing, which has to do with the 5, he's like, look, us Masons might even, we know about the occult. Matter of fact, maybe more than some other people. So we think that date's very important to them. And here's why, whatever. And I thought, okay. So, again, I don't know why the guy reached out to me, but I'll take it. I may have a piece, this guy, information might be gold, so to speak. Who knows? But very cool, some interesting chats that I've had with him. And it kind of proves to me, well, at least from what he says, look, we believe in sound money. He's like, me and my buddies and, Mason friends, we believe in sound money. We believe in this. We know about the pedophile stuff. We don't want to associate with anybody into that. We don't like that. We believe in God and this and that. And so it's interesting. It's interesting to hear them, talk like that. And again, he did prove his credentials to me privately. He's that dude, if you know what I'm saying. So interesting, but I did make I posted pretty much everything he said about it in my Patreon, and I had a few people, oh, well, ask him this. I said, oh yeah, good question. So I asked him, got the answer. Okay, cool. And I had another friend just text me earlier. She said, oh, can you ask? I'll just read you the text. I haven't gotten a reply yet, but I'll tell you what she was wondering. Can you ask the Mason guy about the grand solar minimum and what he knows? I'm following and preparing for this. I know governments are planning for it. We know for sure the naval base up here is where she lives. So again, remember Penny Kelly, the microburst thing, it's going to be around the year 2040, what she can gather, all that stuff. That's what I think all related. And one of the signs, a Masonic type of sign, I believe, is the sunburst sign, which is interesting. Or is it a starburst? Whatever. And I don't mean the candy. So I did send the email out. I'll wait for a response, obviously, if he can tell me, or I hope he can, because I'd like to repeat it, obviously. Maybe he doesn't know anything. Maybe he can't say anything. But again, like he said, if I come across something where you're asking, I'm not just going to say I don't know. I'll just say, look, I can't talk about that. So we'll see. We'll see. And who knows? Maybe I can, other things go, oh, Joe, ask him about that. Oh, yeah, good idea. Send him an email. What's his reply? What does he think about this? And like he'd been saying this little disclaimer, look, I might be a Mason and this and that, but I have, and you know, we may have some political sources that are Masons and that kind of thing, or people in the know. He goes, but at the end of the day, we're just making decisions personally based off of what we think probabilities are, based off of the people that have said things to us or whatever that we know. Doesn't mean it's going to go exactly like that. He goes, but there's probabilities and things, and we think, okay, well, maybe I'll do that because we think this will happen. So the two things that we've been talking about on this channel and Bix and other guys, Clip High, Bitcoin Ben even, right, when he came online on the YouTube scene, is what? Precious metals in crypto. Precious metals in crypto. And I had a guy I was talking to today. I have these books, I talk about these old, whether it's the Knights of the Golden Circle, Spanish Treasure. I have all these like books of stuff. And I found this book, and it was just a really interesting read. And I'm like, God, I wonder if I can find this guy. I'm not going to tell you the name of my books right now. That's private information, all right? But I'm like, everybody that I've ever found online trying to reach out to these people, like, oh, this guy's got really good information. Oh, he died 5 years ago. Damn. Old age. Okay, next one. Oh, died. Dang it. Well, that one died 20 years ago. Man, is anybody alive? And I'm thinking, oh, here we go again. Let me see if this guy's around. And I was able to find his phone number by looking his name up and where I thought what era he might have lived in, based off of what he wrote in his book. And sure enough, he answers the phone. And I'm like, is this the author? Yeah, that's me. I was like, oh, thank God. I said, everybody I call that I've like to talk to about this stuff, they're all like, they have all died from old age. I was like, everybody, you're the first one that's answered the phone. I'm like, I'm so glad. Can we talk for a little bit? And he's like, yeah, sure. So I ended up telling him my whole story, my exploring and all this stuff, and we had this whole chat, and seemed like a real nice guy. And I mentioned that I do YouTube videos and talk about Bitcoin, this and that, and he goes, oh, really? And so his phone was dying at the end of the conversation, and he's like, oh, I'll call you back in another day or two. I'm going to tell you a story that you might find interesting, about exploring and stuff. Well, his book was it was just a really cool read about him searching for treasure and stuff in the hills, and he didn't find it, but at the end of 20 years of every now and then going back there, for a week, for a few days, every year, he's like, I've been doing this for 20 years. I've got almost a year's worth of day to day, almost a year of actually being on this place, and we never found it. And then I realized later on, oh my God, we were close, but not close enough. We're in the wrong spot, and so it's all in his book, but. So he said, well, I'll tell you the story in the next day or two. I'll call you back. My phone's going to die. I said, okay. So he called me back today. We're chatting, and we start talking crypto and stuff. And he's like, hey, can we? So he told me his story, this thing he wanted to tell me. It was cool. It wasn't about him finding anything. It was actually about somebody else, but in that kind of thing. But he says, can we talk about? You say you talk about Bitcoin stuff. He's like, I remember dabbling in it a little bit about a year and a half ago, I think, just to kind of figure out how does it work, how do I move stuff. I just want to figure it out, just not go crazy into it, but little investment, just play around. He goes, and I realized, he goes, because I told him my YouTube channel, so he saw me. He goes. So yesterday when we hung up, I went to go look, and he goes, I recognize you. You're Jsnip 4, because I told him to go look up Realist News. He goes, yeah, Jsnip 4. He goes, I recall coming across some of your videos. And he was asking, well, do you think gold, silver, or crypto? Like, if you were to pick one right now, what would you really hold more of? I said, well, you've seen what gold and silver has done over these many past years. Crypto goes way up, comes down, goes way up, comes down a bunch of times. And I said, I honestly, I'd probably hold, he goes, if you had Bitcoin or gold, what would it be? I said, I'd probably pick Bitcoin right now. And I said, but at some point, gold and stuff's going to go. And I said, my thing is, I think we'll be able to catch another uptrend on crypto and turn that whatever investment into a lot more money with Bitcoin. Then if you want to get out of it, put it into some gold, hard asset, and then wait for gold to do its thing. It's not a bad idea too. I said, me personally, I've got both. And I'm happy with what I have for both, so I don't have to do anything. I said, but I do trade, and I do... I've got my bag that I don't ever touch, and if I lose my trading thing, because I made a mistake or whatever, over and over and over again, and I lost it. Well, sorry, that kind of thing. But he was just curious. So then he mentioned, oh, there's another guy. I think you mentioned to me he wrote a song for you, the Indian song, Bix. I said, yeah, Bix. He goes, I also recall running into watching some of his videos. And I said, yeah. So my buddy, we found each other through the internet and everything else. And he came out, with me to one of these exploration things, and wrote the song as I mentioned to him. So he's like, yeah. I saw. He's like, that was a really interesting, really nice song. I was like, yeah, it was. So it was kind of cool, but it's funny how I'm calling him because I want to just talk about what's in his book, and it was exciting and it was fascinating, and just to talk. I didn't need any information from him. I wasn't calling to try to tell me one of your secret spots. No. But I just felt like I got to contact this guy. Hopefully he's around, and I found him really quickly actually too. And his name's not really much on the internet, at all. And then when I put in the city and state I thought he might have lived in, it was actually right, and boom, he came right up. So I was like, oh, cool. Found his phone number, got him. But how cool is it that I'm contacting this guy, we're chatting, he looks at my videos, oh, I know you from a year and a half ago, I was following some of your crypto videos, learning about it and stuff. And I was like, oh, cool. Oh, and I know your friend that wrote the song, Bix Weird, because I've also followed some of his stuff. So I was like, how cool is that? Man, small freaking world, man. It's funny. And so that's that. But anyways, Theta, do your update if you're running a Guardian node, pre-Guardian node, see if it updates, and then see if you get a message that says, hey, come run an actual Guardian node, which is exciting. So that's all I want to tell you right now. All right. That's all I got for you. No, not that I have anything else to tell you. Take care.